Hello, viewers, and welcome back to another episode of the TBS interview series. And again, the TBS is always towards a better society. So what we do with this series is usually we talk about things that would help us improve our society, so that way, everybody has the right way to go and to live, and that would help us achieving our goals and maximizing our potentials here on Earth. And today we do have a very wonderful topic for you guys today, and we'll be talking about man, love your wife. Right, we had a subsequent series about this one where we talked about who a submissive wife is. If you haven't watched that, please check on my YouTube channel, so that way you can keep up with some of the great things that we shared. But today we'll be talking more about man, love your wife. And to discuss this topic today here with me, I have a very wonderful person who has been in this trade, I would say. He is a pastor. He's also a business owner and a relationship coach. His name is Wisdom Ifyok. Wisdom, you're welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me. Hello, viewers.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so just to give you a little bit of context, I think I did tell my last guest when we were talking about who a submissive wife is. I said usually during the sermon in church, like how they say after they've taken their vows, they're trying to give a little charge. And then you hear when the minister says to the man, love your wife. And then he says to the woman, be submissive. But we don't know the gravity of this word, right? We're so eager to let's run into the marriage, or let's go for the reception so that way we can eat and dance and all of that. But they've given you a very important ingredient for your marriage. But somehow we missed it, or somehow we don't miss it. Or maybe people just don't understand the gravity of that word. So like in your own words, what exactly is the meaning of that word? Man, love your wife.
Okay, thank you. I want to start by talking about what love means, because when we say man, love your wife, until we understand what love means, we will not be able to put a man in a proper stand for him to love the wife. And then again, from the question, I deduce that it comes from the book of Ephesians, where Paul was telling the Ephesian church how to love their wives. And the understanding of love will still come from the scriptures. In Corinthians, the First Corinthians, the Bibles give us specific definitions of love. It talk about love is patience, love is kind, love does not keep record of bad doings, love is not selfish, not self-seeking. So in summary, when you understand those basics that the Bible has put in place, you can now put a man and say, man, to love your wife means you have to be kind to your wife. You have to be patient with your wife. You have to seek the well-being of your wife. You have to be there to serve your wife, because marriage in a full context is about service. So as a man, you are there to serve her needs. So a man that loves his wife is a man that serves the need of the wife.
Women will like this one, so yeah. They will.
I'll put it that simple. A man that serves the need of his wife, putting into consideration that you have to be kind, you have to be supportive, you have to pay attention, you are not self-seeking, you don't keep records of wrong. That means you have to be forgiving when issues arise. So in summary, man loving a wife is a man who is ready to serve the needs of the wife spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, and otherwise.
That's a very strong one. Yeah, and I like that you said all of these great things. But, there are situations, let's try to be fair to some men, right? They grew up in different environments. And some of these men, I wouldn't want to call it a taboo for them. It's more like an ego kind of thing. They were raised in homes where women do certain things and men do certain things.
Yep.
I have seen homes where, they would have finished cooking the food. They would all wait for the females in the house to come back. Perhaps they went for a meeting or they went to the market or something. They would wait for them to return to serve the food before they even eat. So for a man who already has this mentality, who feels like this is the right way to live, making sure that my wife is attached to certain roles in the house. And unfortunately for the woman, probably she grew up in a different environment where all children in the house are seen as equal. The men cook, the men do everything. She may be feeling a certain way, like this is not how my husband should treat me. I'm feeling enslaved in my house. But in the man's mind, this is how to love his wife. Do you agree that the man is justifying the fact that they say that command that says, man, love your wife?
No, emphatically no. Why I said no is this. Number one, marriage is not for children. Marriage is for matured people. And then I'll still get a context from the Bible that says, a man shall leave his father and his mother. And when we talk about living here, it doesn't, it means literally living, sometimes literally leaving the house. But
Oh,
again, you have to leave some culture and tradition, especially the
oh.
culture and tradition that you know wouldn't work well.
No longer suits
It
the.
doesn't suit well. It doesn't sit well because when we want, if you want to go back to that question very well, especially where we come from, you understand that most of that kind of upbringing was done because then men were the one providing for the house.
Ah,
In many cases, women were just
true,
okay, I'll take care of the kids, I'll make the food, I'll get everything ready, while the man was out there bringing all the money.
true.
But we evolve. Now, as I'm talking to you, yesterday you were at work. Your husband was at work. So you have to evolve. You have to leave some traditions that you know is not working anymore. There was a time it used to work, but now it is not working because you don't expect her to be the one doing all the home chores in the house and still go back there to make money and bring to the house too.
Ah,
So maturity has to come in because one, you have to be mature to the extent that you understand that what used to work in my father, between my
in
father
my
and my
father's
mother,
days, yeah.
my father's days, is no more in vogue. It's not working anymore. And you have to intentionally evolve and start working on being a better version of that. That is why living to cleave to your wife means you select those things that you know is going to be beautiful in your marriage. Take them along with you. Those things that you think will not work well anymore,
Drop
drop
them
them
off.
and start afresh. That
Hmm.
is why you become new when you come together with your wife. So I would say if you hand over everything to your wife to do at home with the excuse that that is the way you were brought up, is not good
You're
enough.
not being
You are
mature.
not matured and you are not loving the woman. You are not being kind to the woman. Yes.
That's a very great one. So I think what we picked up from that is it's not justifying the fact that they say man love your wife. That you grow up that way is
Yeah.
not a justification
Yes,
for you to
exactly.
keep doing the old things that are not adding value
Value.
as of today.
Yes.
Wow, that's a great word. Okay, cool. So that's a good one to know. But then let's assume the man is doing all of these things cautiously to make sure he's meeting up with the love demands of today. You know, he's being there for his wife, he's being kind, he's serving the woman and all of that. But with all of these cautious actions that this guy is trying to put in, the wife is frustrating it. There are some women who, I mean, we see stories today where they said the man did this, he did this, but still yet the wife is either not giving him attention or not being at home or sidelining or, taking all their issues from inside the house to people outside.
Yeah.
So she's frustrating his efforts. What should a man at that point do?
I will answer that question in two ways. One, that is a foundational problem. Foundational in the sense that, most often we take things for granted, especially during courtship. Especially this time, I'm talking to the men.
Okay.
When the man is moved emotionally with love, you are being swept under your feet because of maybe the person's beauty, and then you forget to see the red flags. You
Oh,
understand? When you forget to take note of the red flags, because the question is, when you were calling this woman, did you notice some of these things?
the straits.
Yeah. If you were noticing some of these things and you
And you
just
turn the
feel,
blind
yeah, you
eye.
turn a blind eye, hoping that okay, I just want to make her my wife. When she becomes my wife, is going to become an angel. That the fault is on you. But then, if she wasn't like that, and suddenly something happened, and she withdraw and start behaving that way, then there is something we need to talk about. Maybe there is something she's going through without her being able to express
To
it to you,
share with
to
you.
share with you. She doesn't feel comfortable to share what she's going through with you, so she feels the best way to do is to be silent and then move out or start talking outside. So what I would recommend in that situation is number one, communication. Whatever you are doing, I believe after God, the best thing that can happen to two couples or to couples is ability to communicate, not talking, just
Effectively.
effective communication. Knowing the right time to talk the right situation, knowing when the person is in the right frame of mind to receive what you are saying, keep talking. You can't stop talking. The more you present these things, the more she will be aware. Because the same way with the first question you asked about how a man was raised in a kind of environment
Yeah.
that the
Old
ladies were the one old
traditions.
tradition. That same way there are some ladies that are raised in an environment that their dad or their mom have never said thank you. Entitled people. You understand? When you are entitled, you come back home, the food is served, you feel that that is our job. Why should I say
Why
thank you?
should I say
You
thank
understand?
you? Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah, bring me water. No, thank you.
Like it's
So
your right.
it's your right. You have to
Yes.
do it. So these kids are growing up seeing the way dad and mom is behaving, and this talk right inside of her. So she sees that as a normal thing. So whatever you do, she doesn't
She doesn't
she
care.
she doesn't care. She just feel this is what you are supposed to do. So in that case, you have to keep talking, and if you exhaust all that you know to do, and it doesn't still work, have a mentor. I always advise couple, have a model, have a mentor, somebody you know this your wife respects, this your wife loves, that if this person comes in to talk to the both of you, you will see result. Let that person come on board.
And I like to just ask a follow-up question on that one.
Yeah.
This is one thing a lot of couples miss out, when it comes to mentorship
Yeah.
in marriage. How do you feel like somebody can select the right mentor for them? Should it be my father only because he's my father? Or are we supposed to also look elsewhere? It doesn't have to be somebody from your family.
Yeah, I would definitely not advise or recommend somebody from your
From your
family.
family.
Because no matter the way you want to put it, there will be that
They'll be on your side.
side, yeah, there will be that little bias here and there. It should be a neutral person, number one. Most importantly, somebody that will not take advantage of the situation. Because you never can tell. You never can tell how these people sees you. So you want to make sure that this person loves the both of you as their own children. They want the best for the two of you. It may not necessarily be your parent, because just like I said, parents will always
Tend
be
to take
parents.
sides, yeah.
Exactly. Somebody neutral. And then it shouldn't just be somebody that you see from afar. It should be somebody that you have watched the person, you are close to the person, and you've noticed the way they take care of themselves as husband and wife.
To at least
Because
know a little bit of
a
something
little
about
bit of
them.
them, because it's not maybe you see somebody on social media or a pastor on the pulpit. When we climb the pulpit, we present the best of ourselves. So you have to try to go beyond the layer of the suit, to know how does this
The
person
person
treat the
actually.
spouse at home,
Like they
before you can
say, all
say
the glitter is not
it's not
gold.
gold. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one. All right, thank you. And then, there's also another scenario where, men, especially those who are well-to-do, believe that spending, buying gifts, money, and all of that, taking her on trips, and all those things is actually a way to show love. Is this true? And are there really positive and negative sides to that?
They are. Number one, I would say you can love, you can't love without giving, but you can give without loving.
That's a great
Yeah,
word.
there is no way you love someone, no matter how small that thing is, the person will appreciate it. You'll find a way to give to someone you love. But of course, we are in a society now that a man can break the accounts, break his bank, just to please someone that he doesn't love, just because he's lost after the person. You understand that?
Yeah.
So now, giving in this context of marriage is not bad, but we have to check what you give. Because number one, if you reduce your wife to make gift of designer bags, cars, vacation, you don't know the worth of that woman. If everything that you see about your wife is the gift, you don't really know the worth of the woman. What a woman needs is more than just the gift. The woman needs you. And what I mean by needs you is the attention. You can't be an absent husband that only appear when you buy something, and you expect the woman to see that as
That's a
love,
show of love.
as a show of love. And again, there are women that, we talk about love language. There are women that do appreciate the gift, but the gift shouldn't replace you. A gift shouldn't go to the extent that replaces you. That maybe you go somewhere, okay, my wife is going to be angry when I get home. You just stop somewhere and buy a gift. And by the time you give it to her, she just shut up. She can contain it for a while, but there will be a time.
The elastic limit would
Yeah,
outstretch
she
itself.
will tell you to your face that, is this what you have reduced me to? Mere gift. And that is why sometimes, have you noticed that some people, you can buy your wife an expensive gift, she will just thank you and disappear, but she's still smiling at the text message the colleague sent to her.
That's very strong.
She goes through that text message again and again, and she's still smiling, and you're like, and she talks about it. She can say, "Oh, he bought me coffee yesterday." The reason is that the person has given her more
More
attention
than the
while we are busy
yes.
buying gifts. So there are two ways. One, you can't exclude gift as far as this marriage is concerned. You have to always gift.
Give, yeah.
But don't let the gift replace you, because when it replaces you, you are just hanging there without substance. She wouldn't respect you. She wouldn't, that role have disappeared. You're already making an idol of gift in your home. You are making an idol of gift in your home. You are not there. So the best gift a man, I would say, can gift the wife, which the children will equally see, is the gift of love, the gift of attention, the gift of kindness, the gift of compassion, the gift of affection. When those gifts are in place, if you like, give her gum, she
She
will
would
appreciate it.
appreciate it, yes.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, good. I think we're learning a lot, though, viewers. So, I mean, you've mentioned so many things, right? So many ways that a man could show love. If a man out there who's listening to us right now and maybe has assessed himself to say, all of these things you've said, maybe I really need to go back and take a look at myself, and see how I can readjust, obviously, because nobody goes into marriage to fail, right?
Yeah.
We all want to succeed, but somehow those little foxes come in, like some of the things you just mentioned, and they spoil the
Divide,
yeah, there you
spoil
go.
marriage.
So how can that man listening to us now who's trying to say, I need to make amends, I need to get better, what are ways that he can learn to love his wife?
Number one, be intentional about it. Be intentional about it. But take responsibility. If you know you failed in one area or the other, take responsibility, number one. Number two, be intentional. I started by saying that marriage is a service. Your spouse comes in to serve you. He's not coming to seek self-validation. You are coming, it's like waking up every day and asking yourself, what can I do today to make my wife happy? That is the question. And you have to be conscious
An
about
intentional
it. Intentional
question.
one. Sacrificially. It may not look nice. It may hit on your manliness,
Your ego.
your ego. But you have to be intentional about it. That is why I often say that the institution of marriage is beautiful, but the people playing their parts, playing their roles, are the one failing. It's not marriage. So, what is your vision? What are those things you set out to achieve in marriage? When you see that your vision is collapsing, things are not going well, you have to sit back and re-strategize. And if you are not intentional about it, it's not a mere wish. You don't wish to be successful in marriage.
You work.
You walk,
Exactly.
and thank God you've been there, so you understand what I mean. You walk, so be intentional. You may not spell it out like waking up in the morning, like some people will say, asking the wife, "Oh, sweetheart, what can I do for you today to make the day easy?" Maybe you will get there someday, but let it be with it. Okay, maybe if I can run errand today from work, maybe I can buy groceries when I'm returning from work. That will take the burden off her shoulder. Maybe I can help her with this, with that. You know better. It's dynamic. So there is no one way to the whole thing.
Yeah.
The only thing is, whatever you know is good. You've talked about kindness. You can't sit down and cross your legs and watch your wife run around in the kitchen and you are watching news. What are you going to take from the news?
Again, women will like this one.
Yeah, yeah, no, this is real, because sometimes you have to put yourself in the shoe. Even if you can't do something, I do that often. If I can't help, like maybe what she's doing, she's better or she's good at doing it. So I just go sit down there.
And show support.
Just there. Maybe I'm gisting, maybe we just making her laugh, just doing
Yes.
that. That alone make her feel special. Rather than going to with remote crossing one channel to the other, and then when the food is ready, You
It makes
recline.
it makes the hard work worth it, like they say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So sitting down there, if you don't know what to do, sometimes, women are complex, I understand, but they love little things, very little things. And once in a while, one day I did something. My wife was in the salon making her hair. I was actually passing through that place. I wasn't intentionally going there, but something just hit me. Drive there and see her
And
before
just
you
see.
pass. So I
Oh,
just drive there, park the car. I went into the place. I just said, "Hello, sweetheart, how are you doing?" She was like, "What?"
you know.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just came to say hi to you and know how you are doing." She was like,
I'm
"Wow."
sure you had your favorite food that
Yeah,
night.
exactly. So I just did that, hang around there for
Yeah.
5 minutes, enter my car, and drove. And I
Hmm.
felt so good because I put a
Yeah.
smile on her
Smile on
face.
her face. Exactly.
Simple thing like that go a long way to put a lasting remark on your personality. So whatever you want to do, be intentional about it. Wake up and go after it. And you see those changes start coming into your marriage.
True. Great word. Uh, I know we're slowly coming to an end, but I just want you to touch on one thing.
Okay?
Man as the leader of the home. Because I'm guessing in some contexts, this has really caused a lot of, I would say, rancor in some homes.
Yeah.
First of all, is either the man doesn't understand the word leading the home, he feels maybe it's rulership. And then there's that authoritativeness, or there's no inclusiveness and all of that. So it brings that a little bit of, well, I say friction in the home. So what are some of the I would say characteristics that you can point to say man as the leader in the home, like the head of the home? What are some of the characteristics that you feel a man should have for him to be characterized as the head
As the
of
head.
the home?
Now, before I go to some of the characteristics, let me put a little remark there. Number one, when the Bible calls us the head of the home, the man is the head. The headship there is an office, is a responsibility. I am a pastor in a church, but I am not a pastor at home. I'm a husband at home. I'm a father at home. But I'm a pastor. Every now and then, even in the home, I can switch and enter my office as a pastor, still in the home. But I can't go home with this mentality that I'm a pastor. So I'll walk around the house speaking in tongues.
Oh, okay.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So when we understand that these roles, when you understand that roles, it will be easy. So you don't go around the house with your shoulders high. I'm the boss here. As you are in the corporate world, as a leader in the home, one thing is that you have to bring everybody on the same table. Transparency. You have to be transparent to the people you lead. That's one of the characteristics of a good leader. Your wife, because you don't lord over your wife with everything. She's not part of the decision you are making, but you expect her to be part of the outcome of the decision, because the outcome may be a negative outcome, and it's going to fall on
On
her
her and the rest
too,
of the
and
home.
the children. So if you are a leader, number one, let it be an all-inclusive leadership. Before you take decisions, let her be part of that. Let her contribute to that decision. That's
Carry her
transparency.
along.
Yeah. And again, when we talk about leadership, we see it as lording over. But no, the Bible even said that those that are high in the kingdom are those that are safe. So if we want to go into this leadership thing, you realize that you
You
are
ready
supposed to
to
be the
serve?
servant. Be
Okay.
ready to serve at home. A leader is a servant. So when you want to do something, like we talk about chores at home, you should be the leader. Take the lead. The Bible, I'm talk all these things I'm saying, we can go through the scriptures, and the Bible say, I will make you a help meet. She is coming to help you. So she must come and see you doing something
That she can
for
follow.
her to follow and help. So in every step you are taking, know that you are the one taking the lead. She follows. Don't lead only when you are comfortable, when you want to lord over her. Lead in every aspect. But one thing is, as a leader, be a servant. As a leader, be kind. As a leader, be transparent. As a leader, be protective. As a leader, be honest. Let your wife hit her chest and say, I know my husband. As a leader, be faithful.
We like that one too.
Yeah, faithfulness. As a leader, be faithful too. So those are some of the characteristics. When that care is there, that kindness is there, you protect your own. You are the king
She
of the
can
home.
feel
She can feel
comfortable for you
comfortable
to
and say,
lead
yeah,
her.
to
Yeah.
lead. But when vision is not there, you are not protective, you are not kind, who will submit to that kind of a man?
True, true.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. And I think we've been learning a lot today. And
I hope so.
thank you. Thank you very much. Great words. But then, let's assume people want to begin to actually make that conscious effort. People want to start being intentional. Where can they get knowledge? Is it watching videos? Should they read books? Should they seek counselors? What are some of the ways you would advise people to start, getting in this right attitude?
Yeah, it depends because it depends on a particular everybody. It depends on a particular conflict or a particular situation at home. There are some that I would say just need to. There are some way forward that you just need to sit down with your spouse and talk about it, make commitment to each other.
So you can actually resolve
You
some
can
of this.
resolve some of it. You understand? You can resolve some of it by just sitting down, make commitments. Okay, I realize my mistakes. I know I can work it out. Just stand by me. Let's go through this together. That can be one way because you won't be if you don't resolve with her first at home. Jumping outside, you still go and bring.
You
By the
don't
time
know
you come
what's
back, the
there.
house is already hot.
Okay.
So you just scatter everything.
Yes.
So you resolve it from there, or you start from there, and when it doesn't seem to work very well, that is why you have to have a model, a mentor, somebody you look at and
Look
say,
up
okay,
to.
this is where we are heading to. That is number one. Then there are some that require therapy, somebody that can maybe proper counseling and all that. Thank God we are in a society now that those things that are not far from us with the help of social media.
Yeah.
The only thing is that go for the right because as many as we have them out there, there are so many wrong people who may capitalize on your problems. So pray about it, ask God to point you to the right people you can talk to, and then go for them. It's good to ask questions. Marriage is not something, even I celebrated 10 years this month.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you. So, but we are still learners. We wake up, we say, okay, we got it wrong last time. Let's do it this way. So I'm not shy to ask questions. The only thing is be careful who you ask the question. You understand? Be careful. Choose the right person, and then the person should be able to guide you on what to do. There are so many videos like what we are doing today. This can go a long way to help. Don't just listen to this episode alone. Subscribe to the episode, subscribe to the channel, share it, and anytime we do something like this, you have the privilege to know what we are doing. It will go a long way if you are meek enough to take what we share. It will go a long way to help you. Yeah.
True. Awesome. Great, 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 great. All right. So, every beautiful thing that has a beginning surely would have an end. But before we let wisdom go, one last advice. So, what advice would you have for the husbands to be out there? Because there's still men on the queue ready to get married, right? So,
Yeah, there are so many of them.
what are the advices you would give to them? Especially those who are thinking marriage is a bed of roses.
Oh, it's not a bed of. Let me quickly. It's not a bed of roses, but it is the kind of bed you lay. Marriage is I was going through something and the man said marriage is like or relationship is like a water. It takes the shape of the container you put it. Yeah. So marriage starts after the wedding. So for those who are ready or who are about to,
Yes.
as the more there's nothing wrong in doing the best wedding. You can fly on the air doing your wedding. That's wonderful, as far as you can afford. But marriage starts when the plane lands.
There is a marriage and there's the wedding.
There's a wedding, right? So
Okay.
prepare for wedding, not just marriage. Don't prepare for marriage rather.
Not just the
not
wedding.
because immediately we share the grace.
And everybody
The
goes,
the real business starts.
we leave you on your own.
Exactly. So be patient with each other. Be teachable. When I mean be teachable, not one partner, not one person. Husband and wife. There's some things my wife taught me, and I appreciate her for that. There are some things you have to be open enough to learn from each other. That is why don't let beauty be what drives you into marriage. It goes beyond that. There will be a time you look at the beauty and nothing is there. So let something solid, let kindness, let the fear of God, let intelligence. These days, You want somebody you can sit down all day and you still
And
have
have a
something to talk.
meaningful conversation.
Meaningful
Yeah.
conversation. So it's not just about what we have on social media now. Go beyond that. And the only way you can go beyond that is to ask the Holy Spirit to help you. When you get it right in marriage, I tell you, so many things will go easy. It's not going to be just like without challenges, but it's going to go very easy for you. So ask God to help you to choose the right person and then be intentional about building a wonderful marriage. Don't just get ready or prepare for wedding, prepare for marriage. It will come with storm, it will come with smiles, with victories, but if you guys can stick together like one, you will surely come out strong
And work as a team.
and work as a team. Very important.
Awesome. All right, viewers, I think we have heard quite a lot of things today. You know, the hope is we take them and run with them. Let's just not hear the word. Let's try to put some work into it.
Yep.
As we've heard today, marriage is not a bed of roses. So please don't get confused when you see storms come into the marriage. They are only there to make you better. If you can go through it, definitely you would get to that finish line in peace. You know, like they always say, when you find the gold at first, it doesn't look, it has to go through. Yeah, it has to go through the fire.
Yep.
So it's not magic. Let's put it that way. You have to work towards it.
Yeah.
You know, and wisdom today has told us a lot of things that we can try, you know, to implement to see how our marriage will definitely work better. So again, thank you for all the wise words you shared today.
Thank you very much.
Greatly appreciated. And, you know, as they would pray in church, may the oil on your head never run dry.
Amen. Very important.
All right, viewers. So again, I think we've come to the end of this episode today. Like I said, he is a relationship coach. So please, if you want to reach out to him, feel free to do so. I would leave his contact on the screen below. So feel free to reach out to him, you know, with any issues that you may have, or maybe you need some advice or some kind of coaching or mentorship. You know, he'll be there to also reach back to you. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Until we come your way again with the TBS series.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your rest days ahead and stay safe. Thanks, everyone.